tell me a little bit about Lucas and what was life like before you joined the Sensory Hub?
Challenging would be the most apt word, I would say. Very challenging. He's got autism, global developmental delay, and sensory processing issues. So we mainly struggled with the sensory processing. Um, was it was so difficult to get into a routine, know why Lucas was dysregulated, and know how to help him before I joined the hub. Now I'm in the hub. We've got some great tactics, some great strategies, and everything in life runs a lot more smoothly, which is amazing for both me and Lucas. So
That's what we
definitely.
nice,
Yeah,
smooth, easy life.
yes.
So what sort of things had you tried before the hub? Before you got to a point of thinking, actually, I need some extra help with this.
We did go to an NHS occupational therapist. They gave us some just standard things to try, exercises, things along that line, but with things I were kind of already doing anyway. But nothing seemed to be just hitting where it needed to be. And we were struggling to get in a routine. They also gave us like a little video presentation to try and explain what the sensors were, but they didn't really go into detail. So I still wasn't sure what all the sensors were and what his needs were considering those sensors. So until I joined the hub, I really didn't have a clue, even though the NHS did give me some information. It weren't explained like it is in the hub. So now I feel quite knowledgeable in what I need to be doing, which is great.
Good. That's what we want. That's
Yeah,
always the aim for you to
def-
understand the child and know exactly what they need and what you can do to help.
yeah.
That's the And so when you decided to join the hub, what were you hoping to achieve by being part of it? What were your kind of goals for joining?
Just to help Lucas because it was struggling so much. I feel it were having a massive effect on everything. His eating, his sleeping, especially his mood, his behaviour. Everything was just so overwhelming for both him and me because I didn't know what I was doing. So I just wanted to know what are the sensors, what sort of fixes what problem, what does he need, and how do I do that? And once I joined the hub and I learned all this information and put it all together, it just works. It
Mhm.
just works.
Just starts all making sense and
Yeah,
light bulb moments going
yeah,
off.
definitely.
Excellent. And so you've been in the hub quite a while now, and
I
it's lovely
have.
because we've got to know each other really well, and
Yeah.
I've got to know Lucas really well. And so tell me, how are things going? So looking back as to, what your challenges were, and now we've worked through things. What's life like now? Since you've been in the
It's
hub?
a lot more enjoyable. That is, he's such a happy kid. Even at school, they've said the majority of the time he is so happy. They call him Smiler because he's just smiling all the time. It's it's had a massive impact, I'd say, joining the hub on my confidence in what I need to be doing with Lucas, what we can face, what I know I can avoid to stop these meltdowns. But also, it's had a massive impact on his sleep because I know how to regulate him before bed because sleep was a massive issue for us. So, because I can do that, he's sleeping better. So, he's eating better. The more he's regulated, the more he's not sensory seeking, which gives us more chance to focus on his speech and language and he's saying more words. So, everything like sort of came down to his sensory side for us to have a massive impact on everything else. So it's life's going pretty well at the moment. So I mean, we've been discharged from nearly every NHS because they've all said, look, you are doing everything that you can and you know what you're doing now. So which is great. But yeah, it's just had such a massive impact on both of us lives for the better. It is
Good.
amazing.
Excellent. Makes me so happy to hear you say that.
It makes me happy saying it.
Definitely. And so there's different elements to the hub, isn't there? We've got kind of the online bit where
Yes.
you've got the resources and videos and
Yeah.
things to watch, the educational side of it.
Yes.
And then we've got the community where you can talk to other
Yeah.
parents, all have sensory challenges as well. And then, of course, you get access to me to ask
Yes.
questions for that support and guidance. So what do you think has been the most helpful part of the hub? What do you find that you get the most from?
I love the group on the Facebook because we all get together, we all can share each other's experiences, what works for one, what try this, try that. And also it's good you can just go on and have a rant and like, oh God, it's been such a day. And you've got that support there from parents that know exactly what you mean, exactly what you're going through. And sometimes it just makes you feel that little bit better in yourself, thinking it's not just me that's going through it, we're all in this together, sort of thing. I've got to say, like recently, we had an issue with school transport, didn't we? For Lucas going to his new specialist school, and I got access to you, who then did me a letter that was worth its weight in gold to send on to school transport, and they gave him transport the next day because you know Lucas, you've worked with us, and you know his needs, and you explained it so well that they approved his transport within 24 hours, which is just amazing. So to
Mhm.
me, that's been absolutely massive, and for Lucas as well. So having you just on hand as well, you're always popping in and oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And just there giving us, and you always like end up phone if we need to book a phone call, which is great. Knowing that you're not on your own and that you've got that support is massive because you don't feel like you're drowned in everything. So
Yeah.
that for me is massive.
Yeah. And I think one of the hesitations that some families have about joining something like the hub is that maybe they think, oh, I haven't got time.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
what's your thoughts on that? Because it is a bit of investment in time, isn't it? To look through the resources and to think things through. But were you hesitant about that at the beginning, or what's your thoughts on that now?
My thoughts at the beginning were I've not got time to do anything because it was just so hard for me to prioritize anything because Lucas, his needs were so much. But I found once Lucas was in bed, or if I had time for a quick coffee or anything, get on the resources, just read a little bit at a time. It all starts coming together. And for me, once I started to understand it, I wanted to know more because
Mhm.
once you start reading it and you start trying things, it starts working. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So for me, you do find the time,
Yeah.
even if it's just little snippets here and there every day, you will find the time. And it's so worth it. I can't recommend it enough. It's been amazing.
Oh, brilliant. And I always think you think about, what are you spending your time doing now? And
Yeah,
often for families, it's about getting upset or worrying, getting anxious about
yeah,
things, or trying to manage your child's meltdowns, for example.
yeah,
Almost thinking, well, could we reinvest that time
yeah,
in doing all of that stuff to set them up for success so that it's all the
yeah.
positive stuff rather than the stuff that we don't want to
Yeah,
have to.
definitely. The amount of time you spend stressing and worrying could be spent reading and learning this stuff, and then it's preventable. And sometimes it's not preventable, but then you've got the strategies to help with it, and it just works.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, for anybody out there who are on the fence about joining the Sensory Hub or have been thinking about it for a while and
Yeah,
not sure for them, what would you say to them?
do it, do it. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been life changing for both me and Lucas because I think for anybody with a special education needs child will understand that sometimes you don't feel like you're enjoying your time together. You just feel like you're struggling, really struggling, and you're in over your head. And that were me. And now we're just a completely different. We're like a dynamic duo together now. We just enjoy each other so much, so much, and it doesn't even feel like you're doing sensory work with him because you just input into everyday life,
Mhm.
and it works, and you can enjoy each other so much. and it's just worth its weight in gold. For me, I would recommend it to anybody because knowing this stuff is amazing and really
Amazing.
good. So
Brilliant.
thanks,
Well,
Vicky.
oh, you are more than welcome. I have to say, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you and Lucas, and I love it when your name pops up, the little notification that you've put something in the group,
Yeah,
because it's always either a really good question that is so helpful for other people to read and see the answer to, or it's always celebrating something lovely that's
yeah,
happening. So
always,
whenever I
always.
see your name pop up, I'm always straight in the group and having a
Yeah.
look to see what's exciting. Well, thanks again for coming and talking to us today and being a part of the hub. Like I say, it's an absolute pleasure working with you.
Oh,
So
thanks for having us.
you are
Thank
welcome.
you.